wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, a disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is work.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Market Pulse in the morning. Your host, ATX Crypto, aka Nathan. I hope y'all are all having a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, I hope y'all had a fantastic weekend too. Let me know in the comments, whoever's here live and whoever watches the replay later, did daylight savings time mess you up? That shit came out of nowhere. Anyways, it threw my wife and I for an absolute loop over the weekend. We thought we were, sleeping in later than we normally did. In fact, we actually ended up being an hour later than we had to be. So it just absolutely caught us off guard. I want to know if it caught anyone else off guard too. By the way, I thought they were getting rid of daylight savings time, but anyway, maybe y'all know a little bit more. I'm going to let some people start trickling in right here. We got Wes Got Crypto, my boy, co-host Nation, the Pulse, co-host to the Pulse Nation. How you doing, man? I hope y'all are having a fantastic day. Lucky Taylor, appreciate you, my friend. We got What's Good, folks. Pulse Believer, let's go. Yeah, we had some little controversy or a little stir up, shake up, whatever you want to call it over the weekend, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Folks, today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin for a second, talking about the crypto news, diving into some recent chaos that happened inside of the Richard Hart ecosystem with HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, and Ethereum HEX, along with how the price actions are doing, what we got going on, what we see happening, and of course just having some fun. So today is March 11, 2024, and I gotta say, Bitcoin has absolutely shocked everybody at this point in time, myself included. It actually now has closed a week high candle above its previous all-time high. Folks, bull market's here. No ifs, ands, or buts, no doubts anymore, no questioning. Bull market is here. Now, how do you know that? Because you can look at this exact chart right here, and let's break it down on the weekly. Like I said, by the way, the previous all-time high, 69,044, was last cycle's previous all-time high. In fact, you can go back and look at it right over here, 69,044. So with that said, where did the weekly close last week? And it actually closed at 69,026. Oh, slightly below, but neither here nor there. It actually hit a high of 70,184 last week. And today is Monday. The banks are open. BlackRock's going to continue to buy. Grayscale's going to continue to buy. Fidelity's going to continue to buy. And people are absolutely eating up this ETF narrative right now, pushing the price higher than it's ever been so far pre-halving, which, by the way, folks, mad bullish, but keep in mind, that could be a good thing and a bad thing. Now, only reason why I say it could be a bad thing is because we might have a shorter bull cycle this time. So make sure you got the 5 P's ready of proper preparation to prevent poor performance. Make sure you're set up in such a way that says, hey, I understand what is going to happen. I understand that in 12 months time, that could be the tippity top of the cycle. I understand that I have a plan in place that says when things go a certain way, I will do certain things. And again, this could go on in an extended cycle as well. Like, I actually have another chart that shows that we could actually end up going until roughly about end of 2025 / early 2026 based upon previous cycles as well, where typically the cycles actually go longer and longer and longer. And so this time it's predicted that even on an average basis, it would add an extra, we'll say, few months to the scenario, which will put it around February of 2026. So all outcomes are possible. Crypto is absolutely crazy. It is a roller coaster for sure. But neither here nor there. Back to Bitcoin real fast. We have the price currently sitting at 72,546. Again, I'm going to break this down on a daily because today has been an absolute move. We've actually seen just this one candle alone, roughly around 5%. We did see a 7% move in this one on the downside. That was the double top scenario. So I actually have this kind of drawn out right here. Well, it's broken above its double top. So You know, usually when things try to go through, they like to try to test things 3 times. In fact, you can actually draw this out once again if I was to break this out on a daily and add another little circle right here, and boom. We actually got a triple type top where people tried to say what's going to happen and then it broke through. It does not look at this point in time like Bitcoin wants to slow down anytime soon. So keep that in mind. Again, you see days of a 10% move alone, 8% move alone, and this is massive moves in Bitcoin as well. Like I know it's only 8-10%. It's, you know, a small number in the world of crypto for sure. But in the Bitcoin world, these are massive moves because this is a $1.4 trillion market cap, if I'm not mistaken, at this point in time. Sitting at 1.3, oh, that's not even refreshed because this has the price at 69. $1.4 trillion market cap, absolutely mind-blowing. So wow, right? Let's just talk about that for a second. But it did a triple top here. It actually broke through. Beautiful breakout. It actually had a nice bullish formation. It looks like it wants to continue that bullish formation. On the Impulse MACD, it actually shows a bullish trend as well. Doesn't look like it wants to slow down anytime soon. This is on the daily, and on the weekly, it looks even more bullish. The blue line is 100% escaping the orange line right now, which is massively bullish when you're actually looking at this particular chart, this particular indicator. I've used this for, you know, since looking at it as well, and would love to see a day where I can add this Impulse MACD over into DEX Screener, but neither here nor there. We're not trying to figure that out right now. Bitcoin is, again, crazy hyped up right now. It doesn't look like it wants to slow down anytime soon at this point in time, and so if it wants to continue to do what it does, typically what you can see is when things actually do a little breakout like this, you just pull a quick little fib from where we are to the last pretty much local, we'll call it local bottom, if you will. That would put us in the ballpark of roughly around 48,000 if it was to go back and test out the 618 level. I don't know if we're going to see that, though, y'all. I really don't. With the ETF, every single time Monday through Friday comes along, it's just mad bullish. And then you get Saturday and Sunday where things kind of fizzle out for a little bit. And then Monday through Friday come back and it gets mad bullish again. And this has really been happening ever since really the Bitcoin ETF got approved back on January 11th. So you can actually go back in here and see all the way back here. January 11th, sell the news event, 100%. And once it started rallying up again, guess what? This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, Saturday and Sunday kind of fizzled out right there, in my opinion. You get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday kind of fizzled out once again. And then you get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's doing mad things during the week, right? Saturday and Sunday just kind of ended up kind of sitting here stagnant. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? And then you get Saturday, Sunday kind of sitting still. We're back again to this, right? Now, this was a massive sell-off. Everyone knew that the previous 69,000 was going to be a resistance level. As soon as it hit that, massive orders came through. So many people got liquidated. So many people are still getting liquidated because Bitcoin's doing things that has never been done in the past. And so people keep thinking that it's going to keep going down, or it's going to go down, or it's going to go longer, or whatever the case may be. Whenever I talked about these moves a moment ago, within this little section over here, let me actually pull up a liquidation map too. Whenever I pulled up this section over here, this is, look how many people got liquidated between this range. Like 72,000, we'll say 71,000, all the way up to 73, all got liquidated in here. Whether they were short or long, many people got liquidated, and you still got several people who are shorting Bitcoin right now, thinking that it cannot go higher, it won't go higher. And so this thing has been moving within thousands of dollars at a time. It's no longer, it's not, like I said, whenever these 8% moves happen, 5% moves happen, it goes from 72,000 all the way down to a $67,000 swing. And so if you're trying to play around with this liquidation area over here, trying to go long, trying to go short, get smoked and get wrecked. It's not the time to be doing that, but neither here nor there. People absolutely are. Same for Ethereum, as a matter of fact, even on the 1 day. People have been absolutely smacked in this range too. And again, right above the $4,000 mark. Speaking of, Ethereum sitting at $4,041. It looks like it wants to continue to move on the rally all the way up too. You can notice it does have some correlation with Bitcoin clearly, because on this day when Bitcoin got smacked because it hit 69,000. That was March 5th. That was the exact same day Ethereum took its little dive over here and actually dropped all the way down to 3,200 because of that smack and the correlation and liquidity bonding that's tied between them together. So pretty interesting over here. Now again, folks, Ethereum is just stupid to transact on right now. And I do mean pretty ridiculous to transact. Like, the Gwei is still, I don't think I saw it even over the weekend. I haven't really been watching it too heavily because it's just at such a high point in time where the Gwei on Ethereum is priced people out. There's no doubt about it. Over the last 15 days now, it has not really been below 40 Gwei. And again, you can actually take a look at this as well, even over on etherscan.com/gas tracker. And you can see right now the Gwei is still sitting at 68,106. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Like, you're not going to transact. That's garbage. That is garbage. $9 just to do a transaction for swapping Ethereum. You're talking about $152 to actually swap a token. Damn, that's brutal. And again, like, you can actually look at the gas tracker map too. This sucker has not, whoops, let me actually make it so you can see it a little bit better. This sucker has not gone down below 40 this entire time. Boom, I can pull up all of these sections right here and you can do this yourself as well. That sucks. That's trash. Now Ethereum is going to be coming out with a fork. Not a fork. They're going to be coming out with some updates in the future that are going to be allowing sharding capability and allowing the ability to transact for lower fees. But it's not here yet. And so at the present day, to transact on Ethereum is trash. So where do you go? Well, you go to PulseChain, my friends. You go to PulseChain.com, right? That is the solution in this scenario. PulseChain.com allows people to actually get back in the game so that way they aren't priced out and just paying the ETH validators. Imagine you just had $100 to buy something, but it's going to cost you $90 to transact, and you only get $10 of the actual token. Can we all agree that that sucks? I think that's trash. So luckily, Richard Hart came out with a new blockchain fork called PulseChain, in which all of the tokens, all of your ERC20 tokens were forked over onto PulseChain on May 12th, 2023. If you are holding crypto as of that day inside your wallet, you have crypto on PulseChain right now. I highly would advise people go check it out. Again, just go to PulseChain.com, dive in. You don't have to connect your wallet right away if you don't want to by any means. Do your research, make sure you're good. But if you are going to connect to the network, make sure that you're connecting to the right network. So go to PulseChain.com. You can see mainnet has launched. It's been out since May 2023. Here's all the RPC information if you're actually wanting to add it yourself. Again, you can just go ahead and connect it to PulseChain right here if you want to use MetaMask and you're using the Treasure device. They have the ability to become a validator. So instead of you earning the ETH fees right now, which costs 32,000 Ethereum, which at $4,000 to become a validator on Ethereum, 3,200 times, or 32,000, my bad. 32, is it 3,200 times, let me just see, let me make sure I got my math right. Yeah, 3,200 Ethereum, or 32 Ethereum. Okay, that's what I'm tripping. 32 Ethereum. I knew I was like going way higher than what it is. So it costs 32 Ethereum to become a validator over on Ethereum right now, which costs $128,000. And so most people don't want to spend $128,000 to become a validator and essentially pay for a job, right? To earn maybe roughly around 4 or 5%. Whereas on PulseChain right now, you can become a validator for 32 million Pulse, and it's going to cost way less in order to get all that done. And if that's something that you want to do, you're welcome to do that as well. It's all available on PulseChain.com. You can check it out and do some research on this yourself. Again, you can find out all the information you want to for GraphQL, for blocks, for all the pairs, becoming a validator, all the stuff that you could possibly need and want is all right here. Dive into it if you actually want to. You can notice all of it's through IPFS security as well. You can actually download and run it yourself, so you don't even have to run it through this IPFS network. If you do want to, you can just go to Launchpad right here and it'll pull up this page. So right now you can earn 10% or 9.8% roughly to become a validator right now. And so far, there's 49,598 validators with 1.5 trillion pulse locked up to become a validator. It gives you all the information you need for hardware, for everything that you could possibly need to become a validator. You're welcome to check it out. I'm personally not a validator myself. It's a job that, you know, if you have some development skills, network skills, or any of that infrastructure, you might be interested in earning 10% on your money, and you can do it all yourself without having to try to give that Ethereum inside of a pool, so that way you can try to go earn 4 or 5%. Let me actually pull up ETH validator reward. Let me actually pull that up real fast, and I'll actually see the exact, because it's been a while since I've looked at it. It does cost 32 Ethereum, so I was correct. With 800,000 validators, that number falls to, okay, cool. So right now it's looking like 4.16% to become a validator on Ethereum, and it costs 32 Ethereum, which is $100,000 plus dollars. That sucks, y'all. That's trash. But anyways, neither here nor there. That is just one of those informations that I wanted to share. Again, go find more information out on PulseChain.com. If you actually want to go find this information out, 100% well worth your time to do so. Now, recently, we had a fun little debacle that happened with Richard Hart making a post talking about why would you pay ETH fees whenever you can pay pennies instead of hundreds of dollars. 100% agree. I told you, and again, like, he actually came out with a little post. I'll bring it up real fast. Many people have already talked about it in the RH ecosystem, but I have people who may have not seen this and may be wanting to come over. So just FYI, it does look like he's leaning toward the, not does look like, he's definitely leaning toward the PHEX, which is HEX on PulseChain. He wants people to realize that that is, in fact, the HEX that's there. He's absolutely making so many posts right now. I can't even get to it, how crazy it is right here. So let me actually go back and find it. I had it bookmarked. I'll pull out the bookmark. Cool. And yeah, how do I pull up this post? Boom. All right. And zoom on in, zoom on in, zoom on in. Cool. So he had this post right here basically saying HEX is much better than EHEX. The HEX on Ethereum. Why? Gas fees, liquidity, slippage, common sense. Why would you pay thousands of dollars to stake instead of pennies? Why would you want crappier order execution, buying into a thinner order book with more slippage? And so basically the easy way to say this right here is on Ethereum for HEX, there's roughly around, we'll say $3 million in liquidity, whereas on PulseChain, there's somewhere in the ballpark of about $50 million in liquidity. So though people are swapping all their tokens over from EHEX to HEX on PulseChain, they aren't getting the same, they're getting a better order execution, but it's harder to push the price up. So people are wondering, well, the price dropped on the Ethereum HEX side of things. Why hasn't the price risen on the PulseChain HEX side of things? And it's because the order book is so much thicker. It takes so much more capital to push the price up, whereas on Ethereum, being that the low liquidity is there, it does allow for not only faster price appreciation, but also faster price depreciation as well. And so a lot of people are kind of going through and doing that. Well, let me make sure I don't have that fully on my face right there. And so, long story short, to keep it simple for every single one, if you had all of your HEX over prior to the fork of PulseChain, which was again back in May of 2023, all of that was copied, so you were given everything there. And if you've been buying Ethereum HEX, hey guys, the thing still pays out exactly like it said it would. It's a trustless system. It's a fully completed product. So I'm going to keep my HEX. I'm not ending any of my stakes. In fact, I'm still buying it when prices are a better price, because if there's going to be a market for it, I'm going to take the risk on that one. But everyone has to understand their own risk tolerance and what you actually feel comfortable with. I'm perfectly comfortable with that myself. Let me go through the chat. Let me say hello to some beautiful people who have came through here. I appreciate everyone as always. We got Ted Cash saying, let's go. Atlantean, hello. I'm here, Bob Sled. What's up? Well, at least my 2-year-old Flocky is on its way back, lol. That's funny. Woo! Community got shook yesterday. Definitely got shook, A-fam. Definitely got shook. Alan Fizme. I was trying to buy $200 trade just now. ETH fee was half of it. It was $100. Dude, yeah, like, that sucks, guys. Like, we can agree that the gas fees on Ethereum are trash. And if you don't believe that, again, you aren't transacting on Ethereum, because it's priced everyone out. And until they get their shit together, people are going to be upset. So it's not at the point in time where people are getting anything together yet. Hey, I do believe they will get their act together in the future. So I'm going to take the risk on that one. For me personally, I can avoid it or I can handle it, and I can, I am responsible for my own decisions, right? So you got to be responsible for your own decisions at the end of the day. Crypto is a wild gambit at the end of the day. There is no guarantee of anything anywhere ever. So I wouldn't be putting all of your eggs in one basket for one crypto. Never been a believer in that, but I don't believe that you should be diversifying into 50 different things either. Find your core tokens that you do believe in, somewhere in the ballpark of 5 to 7, maybe 8 tokens to put your economic capital in, and then ride that wave on the way up. But trying to deploy all that economic capital into 50 different projects usually doesn't bode well. We can look back on the history, but even if you look at the top 10 cryptos in every single cycle, they have swapped and changed every single time. So you can't just go pick the top 10 and say these are the ones, because they've been switching and they will continue to switch, right? And again, that's just part of the game. It's part of crypto. Understand that is part of the game that you're playing. Understand the risk that you're taking when you're getting into crypto in the first place. Like, shit could go to zero tomorrow. We have no idea. So that's inherently inside of crypto. It's a scary thing, definitely, but the reward is absolutely insane. And so the way I look at it is, look, man, one of the foot got cut off for HEX, but that doesn't mean it's all dead. It clearly is not dead. People have shown at this point in time they do not want to let it die, but that doesn't mean that people will not just continue to sell. In fact, you can actually see the HEX price. This was the news yesterday, and this is where people just absolutely lost it. Within this one candle wick alone was down 59%. So massive little sell-off right here. The price is currently sitting at 2040. And could it go lower? For sure. There's still people who haven't even heard this news. So understand that's part of the game that you're playing. Understand that's part of the risks that you run. The way I look at this is I did a fun little thing over here, but I'll pull it up once again just for S's and G's. Because these are some fun numbers for everyone to kind of see and just kind of play around with some stuff yourself, right? So let's just say right now that you wanted to stake 5 million HEX. And by the way, the lower the price gets, the more HEX you're going to be able to get, just FYI. And so you can actually get T-shares. T-shares are what pay you that daily yield. So long story short, you take 5 million HEX. Don't worry about the dollar value right now. That is today's dollar value if you were to be purchasing it. I'm just saying if the price goes lower and you can scoop up 5 million at some point in time, send it out 15 years. Hopefully ETH got their shit together by then, or hopefully you've just made so much money in the crypto game, you don't worry about paying a $10,000 gas fee or a $100,000 gas fee, because when you actually do this particular stake right here, the way it actually ends up working is eventually you're going to get a daily payout of, 10 HEX per T-share, 12 HEX per T-share, 13 HEX per T-share. So this is playing on a very short side, saying, hey, what could be possible? We've already got roughly around 6 to 7 HEX per T-share right now. And this alone, even at current prices, folks, even at this number right here, 0.0044, based upon all the math and everything, you're still looking at 193x. Again, this is the initial capital if you were to buy it right here today, but you would get 450 T-shares, and T-shares is what you get paid on. Imagine there's a day where you get 10 HEX per T-share. That keeps on stacking up. Every single day you get 450 times 10. So every single day you're just adding 4,500 HEX into the ecosystem. By the end of 1 year, you're sitting on an additional 1.6 million on that one. And again, I just wanted to share that with everyone, because now, here's the other flip side of that. Is there liquidity to take out capital at that point in time? Dude, I have no idea, right? Like, there's no way of knowing. You can't predict the future. But I'm not going to end my stakes early. If you were staked on the Ethereum network, you got it all copied on PulseChain, congrats. So, I'm holding mine. You do what you want with yours. And you do you, boo, right? At the end of the day. Because you got to make that decision. You got to be okay with either outcome. If for the people who EES right now and emergency in-stake their HEX to try to swap it over and bring it over into PulseChain, you might be able to be rewarded in the short term. But in the long run, what if the HEX on Ethereum gets their act together? What if people start flocking back? What if in 15 years, the sucker ends up making it to, 50 cents again? Like, that's 100x from here, nothing too crazy. In all reality, in 15 years, But that gives so much time. There are people and whales in the ecosystem that also don't want to let this die. So that's my 2 cents on that whole argument right there. Yeah, dude, another BTC all-time high. Dude, that's insane, right? Like, wow. 72,000. Yeah, so it must have went back down while I was discussing what I was sharing right there. But yeah, the all-time high so far right now sits at 72,767. Wow. Like, that's pretty crazy, y'all. That's pretty crazy. Now, this is all while at the same time, S&P 500's finally cooling off. The Nasdaq's finally cooling off. The Dow Jones finally cooling off. So you want to see these things kind of cool off. The DXY, we want to keep seeing that go down, right? That just means better behavior. And if you actually flip this on weekly, it makes it a lot easier, because on the weekly, we want to see this thing come back down and go below the 300 EMA type deal. You can see it's already gone down here. I would love to see it continue to go down and see the DXY, which is the dollar index, at, the 99 level. I want to see the Bitcoin dominance instead of 54. I want to see it in this 45 region. That's altcoin season all day. Right now it's floating within these 300 EMAs right here from high, low, and open. And so these are just kind of floating around within this range, but it doesn't look like it really wants to go bounce too high. The rest of the market's kind of actually keeping up with it as well. And so if you actually just pull up Bitcoin itself, and I can pull up, for example, we'll just add the total 3. I'll even add total 2. So we'll exclude, whoops. Give me 1 second. Total 2. All right, cool. And flip this over to log. Make sure this is log. All right. So right here, total 2, including Ethereum, excluding Bitcoin, is all rallying up with it too. You can actually see if you were to say, whoops, instead of, maybe the total 2, maybe you just go others, which is basically excluding a whole bunch of other stuff, excluding the top 10 market cap as well. Okay, cool. So what are the others are doing? Let me actually pull this up over here for others. Log. Cool. The others is absolutely crushing it, y'all. Everything is pumping right now at this point in time. So yeah, the Bitcoin dominance, while it's sitting at 54, I would love for this thing to go back down into the range of 45, and start getting into this lower range, even 50. Heck, let's start breaking below 50 at this point for Bitcoin dominance, and then everything else just starts rallying up to the moon. But while Bitcoin is in its bull run, which is currently in effect right now, while Bitcoin's going to be in its bull run right here, well, it's gonna absolutely rip, right? And so when you look at some of these things, even on the chart, we got the prediction from the man RH over here, which basically puts the price of Bitcoin at $241,500, and that's the prediction right here. And so, how fast does it get there? How high does it go? How far do the rest of the markets lag? Is it just 2 months? Is it 3 months? But while this is going up, everything else is still going up too. Massive, massive moves, y'all. So big fan of everything that we got going on. Now, take a little gander at the PulseChain ecosystem. Let me just kind of get rid of some of this real quick. So looking at the PulseChain ecosystem, we have absolutely started to deploy a nice little run on the way up once again. We are starting to make higher highs, higher lows. Love seeing that. So far today, there's been roughly around a 7% move. So I told you, in Bitcoin, the 7% move is like thousands of dollars, whereas in PulseX right now, it's a few difference in change for pennies right now. So the 7% move doesn't really have that same pull, but the massive moves that it does do, which is this one right here, which is a 39% move in this one candle. In fact, if you just break it down from where the candle opened to where it was a 76 move in that one candle alone. Just an absolute smash on a candle. So that thing was just blowing past everyone's expectation. We have now hit the 786 level on PulseX. This is from its all-time high to its all-time low. So at this point in time, when things typically start testing out the 786 level, we'd love to see a nice little support around this region to continue higher and higher. We have already broken above its SAC price for PulseX. And again, once it actually gets through that would then become another level of resistance / support. So we really want to keep on making sure we're seeing higher highs and higher lows, which we absolutely are. On the PulseChain side of things, we have the current price sitting at 30173, and once again we have broken above our previous local top that we are holding and using as support resistance. We have now actually broken above that as well in this one candle move too. It was roughly around a 40% move. Okay, cool. I have my magnet. I was like, why is it not just clicking? There you go. I have a 40% move in that one candle move alone. So congrats to everyone who's been waiting, who's been patient, who's all that good stuff. Right now we're going back to that little sideways move once again, but typically when things do break out of a bullish flag, which is kind of what you're seeing right here, or an ascending wedge, we actually end up doing the exact same move to the upside, which will put us not only above previous all-time high, which will put us not only above the 1618, which is what you commonly get on a pump as well. We would actually be sitting in a ballpark of 3042. So that's my next region that I'm going to be looking at. So far, we do have some impulse waves going on. If we were to actually break this down on an impulse wave pattern, we actually have basically got our 5 waves move, right? So 1, 2, we went up 3, 4, and 5. So we actually got the little impulse wave here. I can see us doing an ABC correction on the way down, which would just put us right back kind of in the same region. So it could do 1, 2, kind of go back up and then go back down right here before it actually ends up doing a similar move to the upside on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move on the way up, which again would put us in the ballpark of 3022. So 2.2x above SAC level. And if you were buying down low, you have a massive move ahead. I'll leave this on the chart just so that way we can kind of see how it all plays out. It's always curious to see. But when things rally in PulseChain and PulseX and HEX, it does a massive move to the upside. So even with everyone moving all of their economic energy over from Ethereum HEX to PulseChain HEX, it did have a rally at one point in time of it almost hit 3 cents basically. And then people just said, no, you can see the market does not want to let this price go higher. This is a massive wick. When you see a candle wick of this size and caliber, it typically means the market is not ready or does not want to allow this to happen. So you can actually see this wick right here is a sign of bearish pressure right there. And that's exactly what we ended up getting. We actually got a bearish pressure once again, and people have absolutely sold into it. Still, we are on a higher high, higher low situation, even with all of this happening. How it all ends up shaking out toward the end, everyone's just going to have to be patient and wait, man. Like, seeing things play out is tough sometimes, especially being that we are creatures of emotions. But at this level, this should ideally be a nice support level on this line based on how it's done. If it does break below it, well, the next level of support will probably be around this level, which is back to the penny, almost 2 cent range. So everyone who swapped all of their HEX because of Richard Hart's tweet, was it the best move? No, that was a move out of emotion. And when you make a move out of an emotional decision, you get smacked every freaking time. People were moving all of their EHEX. People were basically saying, man, this thing's going down. And I get it, dude. I'm there with you. Like, the sucker's going down. Like, that was a very this is not a fun candle to look at. That's ugly. But everyone was swapping everything over here, regardless of what the ratios were, regardless of what was going on. They were just swapping everything they possibly could. And some people swapped this all. So here's what happened. You got in, you got emotional, you saw the tweet. I don't know where you swapped at, but many people swapped on a 35% dip, 40% dip, 45% dip, shit, even all the way down to a 60% dip. They actually moved all of the capital over into this chart over here, which was HEX. And when did they move it over? Well, they moved it over when everyone was making new all-time highs, and then, not new all-time highs, new local tops. Everyone was just massively moving everything, a mass exodus. So they were buying anywhere between, here, let me actually get rid of this right here to make it a little bit easier to see, I believe. All right, cool. And get rid of this and get rid of this. So here's what happened. People are like, man, dude, this is garbage. But they moved all of their HEX from Ethereum over here while the price was massively pumping, because why? Everyone was moving all of their capital from EHEX into HEX on PulseChain. And so they not only lost 30, 40, 50% on that run down, they also got smacked on here too. So they lost another 15, 17, 20, shit, even all the way down to a 33% loss. You don't make moves when you're in emotional decisions, guys. That's the reason why FOMO is a thing. You don't want to be FOMOing into things. When you see a bull market target like Bitcoin's doing right now, you don't FOMO into this, guys. Like, could it go higher? For sure. When things are making new all-time highs, that's good. Everyone's in profit when things make new all-time highs, so congrats to the profit on that level. But folks, understand at this point in time that when things make new all-time highs, there's a chance it's going to do a pullback because everybody is in profit. There's not one person when things make a new all-time high that is not in profit that bought at any point in time. Everybody's in profit. Except for the people who short, and then you just lost all your money. But neither here nor there. Everyone's in profit. So if you expect that you ape in at the freaking tippity top of a thing making new all-time, this is when people do. They like, man, I'm going to ape in, and then they ape in right here, and then it does this little move up, which is, again, 14%, nothing to laugh about or whatever in terms of like normal Wall Street. But as soon as that happens, that goes down another 13, 14%. And that could happen. It's crypto, y'all. We've seen these moves happen. This move alone was a 5%. This is actually way more than 5%. That was just for the day of where that candle closed. This is a 15% move to the downside in one day. So what happens is you ape in when things make new all-time highs, and then it goes down 15% all of a sudden. And you're like, man, I could have just waited. I should have just waited. Yeah, because you had FOMO. You got greedy. You got fear of missing out. Like, you got emotional. Do not make trades or do not make actions based on emotional decisions. It doesn't end well for anybody. And the people who did this in the HEX ecosystem, you got smacked. Like, that's like a double hurt at this point in time. Because then you're like, well, man, like, oh, just so mad. Yeah, because, or people, instead, what happened was people, not only on the HEX side, maybe they didn't even have any HEX. Maybe they had a bag of Pulse or PulseX. They swapped their Pulse and PulseX for a token that's doing a pump because everyone's like, yep, PHEX is the way. Richard Hart said it. That's the one. Kill EHEX. Do it. And then they're like, well, that's clearly a sign. I'm going to go and swap out my 50 million Pulse and I'm going to go buy some HEX on PulseChain now. And then what happens? Boom, you lose 30% of the value right now. So then you go from whatever that value was at 50 million and you just lost 30% within seconds. That's days, don't get me wrong. That's one day though. Do not make a move based on an emotional decision. You will get wrecked 9 out of 10 times. I've seen this happen so many freaking times, but hey, to each their own, right? PulseX is making new local tops like I was just talking about, or new higher lows, higher highs. Again, we have the Ink token sitting at $7.88 right now. I do see this doing a little pullback. If it decides to go all the way back down, my region of a pullback would be right in the $5.80 mark. We'll see if that's the case. We'll see what actually ends up happening. That would bring it not only down within the 0.5 region of the all-time high to low, it would actually be kind of a more of a Elliott wave situation as well. And so this is kind of the way I see it happening. From here, do another little pullback, and then once it does its little pullback, on the way up to $18, $22, whatever that may be. So I've kind of kept this on the chart exactly like it is, and damn, dude, I have not moved these candles. And how freaking close did it get? I got so freaking close. But anyways, it hit $10 and it hit $10.20 right here. I have this on the mark at $10.66, and I did that because that was basically right where the 618 level was. So very curious to see how this is all going to play out. But again, I don't make decisions based on an emotional decision, folks. Like, I'm telling you, you will get smacked. It happens every single freaking time. I don't know why. I don't know, like, I don't know, like, if there's just like a trading god out there, whoever they may be, and they just like to humble people. There's a reason why 99% of traders freaking fail and lose money. Because it's not beneficial, because they're doing things on a short-term scale, because they're trying to do things on a market flow move that in the grand scheme of things was not necessarily the play. Like I said, short-term, sure, you might be able to benefit. Long-term, don't do shit when you're emotional. Like what happened with the USDC situation when USDC depegged? Do y'all remember that? Let me know if y'all remember when USDC depegged. How many people absolutely freaking lost their freaking mind? So many people, y'all. So many people. USDC depegged, and they were like, well, that's it. And from there, I'm actually going to pull it up real quick. Was that back in March of 2023, I believe, right? Does that sound right? Let me know if that sounds right. Here we go. Daily. March of 2023. All right, yeah, let me just zoom on and zoom in and zoom in. All right, so this is what happened. March 2023. Tell me if you were around whenever this happened. But this is what people do. Here's the dollar, pegged at $1, keeping it $1. Pretty simple, pretty easy. All of a sudden, one day, USDC depegs and loses plenty of economic value. This candle wick goes lower than what's showing on screen right now, because if I was to actually show it all the way down here, the USDC depegged all the way down to like 80 cents. It was all the way down here, 80 cents. Absolutely smashed. So many people, dude, so many people swapped so much USDC on. After it did, it's 80. So it was at, we'll say 90 cents, 80 cents, or 85 cents, 83 cents. They're like, it's going to go lower. Swapped it for whatever token that they decided to swap it for. And then within a freaking day or two, the sucker's back at $1 again. Right? Like, this is all happening real fast, guys. Because you were emotional, you're freaked out, you were holding USDC, you lost all the capital right away, and then it pushed all the way up again. Within the next 4 days, it's back at $1. How many people got washed out or rinsed out during that time? That was so short of a scale of a moment in time that most of y'all probably didn't even realize that it got that low for a depeg. The depeg hit 80 cents, folks. People lost their freaking mind. They were like, brah, I don't know what to do. And got smoked, man. They got smoked. And again, why did they get smoked? Because they did something in an emotional decision. I don't think that is the time, personally, to be doing shit during an emotional decision. It doesn't end well for most individuals, okay? So, same thing on FOMO, same thing for FUD, same thing for all of these scenarios. They're all there for a reason. Fear is in the state of both FUD and FOMO, right? Like, fear is the first word in that, and that is a huge emotion that they mess with everything inside your body, and then you make an irrational decision. You just do it. You may have had a plan in place and said, dude, I'm just going to hold, and then it goes from, this is USDC, it goes from 95, and you're like, oh, dude, it's getting back up to $1, it's circle, come on. And then it goes down to 93, and you're like, oh, shit, man, what's going to happen? Oh, man, it goes down to 90. You're like, dude, this is freaking me out, man. I need to get my money out of there. How do I get it? And you're running back to the computer, goes down to 85. You're like, oh, my God, exit. And then you exit, you lost 15% of the capital, even if you exited at 85% within 4 days. Gone. So if you had $100,000, you just lost $15,000. Gone within 4 days. Like, because you were emotional. Please do not let emotion be the reason that you're doing any trade or any execution of anything. It doesn't end well, y'all. It really doesn't. Oh, man, let me go back into the chat, and then we'll get into some crypto news, have some fun going on, because it is Market Pulse in the morning, folks. We're just having some fun. Monday, March 11, 2024. And again, I'm catching up with chat here, so just give me a moment while I kind of go through. $200 trade. Yeah, afternoon, my friends. We are going to make it. Pulse Believer, 100%. Keep DCAing and hold. Appreciate all the work. ATX, thank you. Yeah, I never bought any HEX after it split and took a dive. Yep. Yeah, Westcott, what's up, my boy? Yeah, Pretzels in the chat for sure. What's up, Lucky Taylor? Salute to you, my friend. Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon, wonderful weekend. We definitely got to catch up soon. Crypto Khalil, messed my kids up as usual, which messes me up. Yeah, I feel like almost like I went back to just feeling like I'm yelling at my kids, which is crazy. Like, I got a son and daughter, and the arguments going on in the ecosystem and everyone getting emotional, and it's just like, get your shit together, pull your pants up, and figure it out. Like, you're gonna take some L's in crypto. Stop trying to hit a home run. Understand that's part of the risk that you run. Like, not everything's gonna do a perfect play, and that's okay. Stop trying to make it a perfect play. But at the end of the day, send it out 15 years, see what happens, dude. Like I don't know what to say. If you got a stake that's ending on Ethereum, have you tried ending that? I have. It's fucking sucks, man. Like, to be as transparent as possible. And again, even if you got millions of staked HEX, dude, yeah, you still pay hundreds of dollars. And again, that goes to the ETH validators. So the whole RH system was just basically saying, hey, come back around. But if you have the ability to put, I don't know, 1%, 2%, 3% of your whole entire portfolio into Ethereum HEX whenever the price just tanks, which could still be doing because this is less than 24 hours ago, if I believe correctly, from when that tweet went out. I think it was around exactly 24 hours, or roughly around 26 hours ago. So the price is still, the people are still hearing about it. People may have heard about it on my stream right here for the very first time. People are just looking at the charts and like, what in the shit just happened, right? Like, did we just lose the SEC case? Or they have no idea. But that's all the rumors are going to start going around, dude, and everything's going to happen. And so at the end of the day, here, I'll say it like this, man. If you have 10,000 into all 5 tokens, so 2,000 each. So 2,000 into EHEX, 2,000 into HEX on PulseChain, 2,000 into Pulse, 2,000 into PulseX, and 2,000 into Ink. At the end of the day, that 20% that you had, if you want to count it as a loss, so be it. Count it as a loss. Do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you still got 80% of $8,000 or $800. Am I saying this right? 8,000. Yeah, $8,000 that could potentially be doing an average of a 300x this cycle. So you still have $8,000. And here's the difference: $8,000 times a 300x. Cool. $2.4 million. Assuming you had the full 10,000 times an average of 300x. $3 million. It is a difference of 600,000. But how freaking greedy are you, y'all? Like, how much do you need to live? You're going to see more money than you've ever seen in your entire life. So don't let it affect you mentally. Don't let it affect you. And again, like, we all have our own little ways of grief and handling. And, you know, we have a certain community that we can reach out to. It's a very small knit community in all reality. You go talk about crypto to a normal individual, they look at you like you're absolutely crazy, right? But I look at it from a standpoint of, all right, cool. If you want to talk it up as an L, so be it, right? It is what it is. But the way I see it is, if you still had 8,000 inside the other 4 products inside the RH ecosystem, and it does an average of a 300x, which I think is low, but neither here nor there, you're still looking at $2.4 million, right? Congrats. That's winning. That is incredible. Don't look at it as a stand. And again, like, I don't see the value of EHEX just dropping. I don't see it dying. There's whales in the Ethereum ecosystem that just are playing only in the Ethereum ecosystem, and they can do whatever they want, add liquidity as much as they want. They can do all these different things. So I don't see it dying at any point in time. So what if that does an average of 300x? And then what if during this bull market, because everything goes up, EHEX still does an average of 5 or 10x right now, right? So it only gets back up to, 5 cents, 4 cents, right? Which is 10x right here. Okay, cool. You turned that $10,000 or $2,000 into $20,000. So now instead of 3 million, you now have, like 2.5 million. Congrats, man. Like, if you look at what you don't have, you're always going to be sad. If you look at mistakes that you made and have regret, you're always going to be sad. But if you look at what you do have and you can find a way to say, I am content with the bag size that I'm holding, regardless of what goes on, and if I can, I want to accumulate more to make it easier, so that way instead of me having to hit 1,000x, I only need to hit a 300x, or maybe instead of a 300x, you only need to hit 100x. And you can get that opportunity right now while the prices are dropping and doing whatever the heck they're doing. So keep that in mind, guys. Crypto Khalil. Yep. Mo digging it. How you doing, my friend? Yo, what good? What's good, my friend? Only matters for compounding detonator with EMP. Okay, cool. Atlantean must have been answering a question on that one. What's up, Crypto Chino? Yo, Adam Chadwick. Hello, Prospector. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, GM year. It is gonna be a phenomenal time, dude. It's a bull market, guys. Get ready. Like, I know this is always, we have the emotions, and I'm not saying your emotions aren't valid. You can feel whatever you want to feel about the entire situation, but we're in a bull market, guys. So, like, get ready to strap in. Don't try to go here's what I don't want to see happen, is for you to try to go make up the losses that you may have accrued for the Ethereum HEX side into other tokens and other shitcoins. Because eventually, especially if you only have one wallet, like, that's just silly. But eventually, you're going to mess with something that's going to be a malicious dApp, that's going to have the ability to drain. And you're doing that in the chance that you're trying to make up for the losses that you accrued. And so by doing that action, you end up screwing yourself over. And so instead of you actually, losing 20% of the bag, you now lose 100% of the portfolio. All because of a chance of trying to make it up. Like, it's just not worth it, guys. It's really not. Yeah, daylight savings messed me up. for sure, man. Like, that shit had me wild. I'm buying all the HEX. Stressful Struggle says, why not, man? I get it. Still saying on the PulseChain, we're gonna make it regardless of short-term FUD, for sure. ATX Pulse Nation, the best. Appreciate you, Lord of the Ponzi. We'll catch the replay, just stopping by to say hi. Taking my nap before IRL. Salute to you, my friend, as well. Malik, can you please do Can you please do a how-to video on liquid loans, please? I don't really mess with liquid loans too much, man. Like, I have a vault set up that has my collateral at like 1400% or something. I only took out the 2000. I basically just set up a vault so that way whenever things want to run off to the moon in the future, if I ever decide, I can just go extract a loan from them. But I don't like putting a whole bunch of my pulse in there. So, like, again, whenever you start sharing some videos like that, dude, people could just go full degen, man. And the risk on that alone scares me. So I don't know if I do want to make a video in that regard. Just because if I say, hey, man, I only do 10% of my portfolio inside this collateral, like, people don't listen to that. And they try to go get more, and they try to maximize everything, and they want to try to help speed the process up. There are tons of videos out there for liquid loans, and I'm sure I might in the future, maybe, I don't know, but like, I don't like people getting wrecked, man. I don't want to see people do something like go open up a vault, not have a full comprehension and understanding of the entire system, keep their collateral at like 200 because they think they're good, and then the price of Pulse drops down 50% and you end up getting liquidated. And then instead of you just holding your Pulse, which would have been way better instead of doing nothing, you done lost it all through a liquidation because you went in with 100% of the bag. That scares me, man. That really does scare me, and it does weigh on my soul as well. And so I don't like doing things to negatively affect people in any sort of way. So again, I don't know if I'll be the person doing that particular video, but they are out there. TechCash says, smash the like button for ATX. Appreciate that, yeah? Yeah, dude, let me actually play a little song in the background, right?
Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning in, engage. Just take a second to smash the whole page.
Alright, y'all, alright. I hope y'all enjoyed. Because smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Market Pulse in the morning, Monday through Friday, bringing it here with you. The chat just did its little fun thing where it just does all the scrolling all at once. So, where was I? Oh my goodness, freaking, I love it. Hey Benny, what's up, Atlantean? Hello, everyone saying hi. Smash the like button. There we are. Stressful Struggle. HEX is the king. Yeah. Yo, Stressful Struggle. I love it, man. I love it, bro. People need that. People need this right here. Again, like, at the end of the day, find whatever decision you want for yourself, right? Because that's all that really matters. Because at the end of the day, you're the person who decided to buy. You're the person who decided to sell. If you decide to stake your HEX, you're the person who decided to stake. You decided for how long. If you want to end it early, you decided that as well. You paid a penalty. All those things. Accept responsibility, y'all. Which is why people don't like. That's the reason why most people like centralized exchanges, is because of that exact reason. So yeah. Here we go. If I unstake my HEX, here we go. Hold on. Digital Farmer asks, if I unstake my HEX to sell now, what percentage hit should I expect from a stake of 48% in progress? Any idea? Dude, you could lose it all. If you staked before big payday. Like a big payday stake was November of 2020. And if you ended up staking during that time, you lose all the reward right away. So it depends on that question. I mean, you wouldn't technically take a hit in that regard because you would have earned the capital. So the penalty that you would pay would actually be offset because you've been earning interest the whole time. But again, if you had a big payday stake, yeah, you're going to be penalized heavily on that one. So I just wouldn't do it, man. You got all your HEX, especially if you were if you were already on PulseChain or if you were on Ethereum before the PulseChain launch, like you got it all copied over. So I wouldn't be trying to mess with any of that. Am I the only one EHEX staked for many years? No, Spider. I still got plenty of stakes, my boy. Alan Fizme says, no, sir. I'm staked out on both chains for sure. Optimality, good afternoon, my G. I'm in EHEX on my question. Yeah, we got you. Optimality asks, my legacy HEX is all staked so long it doesn't matter. Yeah, for sure. Closest stake are coming out in a couple years. Yeah, like, and that's what I was saying. Like, what if Ethereum ends up getting their shit together eventually, one day, one point in time into the future? Who knows when, but just some point in time into the near future. We'll say not this cycle, but next cycle. All right, cool. And what if they never get their act together? Man, that is what it is, right? Like, at the end of the day, you got to understand that risk that you're playing. That's part of the whole system. Like, when you stake your HEX, especially if you staked your HEX like last year, you've probably already heard the gas fees suck. You've been hearing about it for years now. That's why PulseChain was launched in the first place, because gas fees suck on Ethereum. Agreed? Agreed. All right. Another BTC all-time high for sure. Crypto Bigfoot, what's up? Optimalities asks, this is where the perpetuals is very helpful. If you believe deep down in your soul, like I do, legacy HEX will prevail. No, I don't do any of perpetuals, man. Buy the real shit. So yeah, I don't do HSIs. I don't do perpetuals. Buy the real shit, dude. Keep it simple. And hold. It's like, I get it. Like, you might get a better deal overall and all that good stuff, but at the end of the day, you're limited on the time frame of when you can do it. If you decide you want to do something sooner, you don't have a choice because you're set up in a choice. Perpetuals are garbage, and I'll explain why perpetuals are garbage. Because you don't actually stake in that scenario. You are buying a token that has the stake done for you, so you can earn the reward when the time that stake comes due. Okay, cool. So let's say this bull cycle comes along, and everything goes up 100, 200, 300, 400x. Those perpetuals that you're looking at, you end up holding, and you're like, I don't really need the fucking stake. I don't really care about that. I'll just sell right now. If you had just staked, however, and just held it out 15 years, the reward would have been so much better, or 5 years, or 10 years. The reward would have been so much better. But because you're holding a liquid token, which is the opposite reason as to why you stake HEX. Why do you stake HEX? So you don't wreck yourself early. What, for the people who freaking bought Bitcoin at $1 and sold at 30, they thought they were brilliant. For the people who bought Bitcoin at $100 and sold at 1,000, they thought they were geniuses. Were they? For the people who bought Bitcoin at $10,000 and sold at 50, and the thing's at 72 right now, were they smart? I don't think so. And so, like, why do you stake? So that way, you set up a nice ladder, so in the off chance that when the time comes in the future, it's worth so much more. That's why you stake. Perpetuals do not have that same functionality, and for that reason, I think they're trash. Hopefully that explains my view on them. Not a fan. Crypto Bigfoot, yep. Cookie to Chocolata, hello. How you doing, my love? Alan Fizme, BTC definitely beastin' for sure. Cookie says, ATX, I hope you're all doing well in spite of it all. 100%, man. 100%, Cookie. Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, like, if you think about it that way, it's a small little setback, but then you're not looking at what else you got. And during this entire time, I've been able to accrue so much more PulseChain. I've been able to accrue so much more PulseX. I've been able to get so much more HEX on PulseChain. I've been able to get so much incentive token. So I got 4 of the 5 tokens for a leg at you know, like, one of them got cut off, man. Like, yeah. And again, like, I still believe in the whole system long term. Right now, short term, could there be some pain? Absolutely. It's welcome to crypto. But if that one leg, if you put a certain allocation of your portfolio, and again, I don't think you should ever be 100% in all in one token, but that's just my thought, then you still win. You still get to win. Optimality. It's like 130 grand to boot up an ETH validator. What is it like to stake? What is it like for Pulse? 5,000? It's about to be a whale chain. PulseChain is a gateway to crypto freedom this cycle. LFG. Optimality says 100%. It's about 55.55 to start off. Yo, check it out. Optimality says it's about 55.55 to start up a PulseChain validator. That is awesome. So the price of PulseChain right now, 0.0001, let's just kind of pull this up, 0.0001732 is the exact current price, and it costs $32 million to become a validator at that point in time, which I'm sure whenever he sent the message, it's $5,542. We have actually seen a higher price today, and I am slightly behind, but $5,555, that is hilarious to start a PulseChain validator. Whereas again, if you want to be an ETH validator, costs $140K. Not only that, do you even have 32 Ethereum? And if you do, are you willing to put it all in just to become a validator? Like, what? It only costs 32 million Pulse to become a validator, and a lot of people have a lot more Pulse than that, so it makes sense. In fact, you can start up multiple validators, as a matter of fact, which some people will do. So if you got a bag of 100,000, you can go start 4 validators right there for 20K basically, and still have, you know, 80% of the portfolio not even being a validator. What if you do that with Ethereum? You have 50 Ethereum, you have to put up 32 just to be a validator? Okay. It's just not make sense, man. Cookie, how are you at AFAM Ask? Yeah, dude, Lee says they got their asses slapped. They took horrible slippage and bought a top. Dude, 100%. Like, everyone who freaked out on the emotion of like, oh, I'm selling all of my EHEX to get into PX because Richard said it. Get wrecked, dude. Get wrecked. You let your emotions get the best of you. Go ahead and stake that shit, big man. 100%. Like, 100% agree with that. And if you're just holding liquid Ethereum HEX now at this point in time, you might as well stake it out. Like, the shit's going to go down lower, and what? You're just going to allow your emotions to come back in and get more mad in the future? Like, okay. I just don't see that being the case. Cookie asks, thanks, doing okay, but I was a little pissed off yesterday. Sold my liquid, not too much of a loss, though. See, Cookie, like, I don't, that's tough. That's tough, man. That's really tough. And again, like, emotions are the devil's playground type deal, right? And so when you let that kind of creep in, they get dark. The thoughts get dark. Everything is dark thoughts, all of it. Addy WLO says, hello, future multi-millionaires. Facts on facts. Crypto Khalil says, nah, I was talking about the time change. Oh, gotcha. Bedtime change throws off the whole fam. Gotcha. Academiciated, kind of hard to complain with the gains in crypto, whereas it used to take decades to make money like this. That's another thing. Like, you know, where else are you going to go make money like this? Dude, like, I get some of it's going to be a loss. It is what it is. Like, I didn't see it happening this way. You know, we've heard him say many times that he didn't want to see cheap HEX anywhere. Again, I'm not doing anything, though. I haven't sold. I haven't ended any of my stakes. Speaking of, man, what was the payout per t-shirt yesterday? I bet you it was nice. Hex.vision. I bet you it was beautiful. Last I looked, it was like 11.5 hex per t-shirt, and we still had like 6 hours to go before the end of the day, before it rolled over UTC time. So, yeah. Where are we at? Total penalties, average staked. Maybe y'all know in the chat as well. Hex penalties. Do I want to see it on that? Yeah, maybe you know that in the chat already as well. ATX, you and Westcott play basketball? Oh, right. Why not, right? What we got? Yeah, yesterday's penalties was beautiful, man, for a lot of individuals. It gave us a beautiful payout, as a matter of fact, as well. Let me actually pull that up. Here we go. Let me go to HEX daily stats. I don't know if it's still updated. I know last I looked, they were kind of behind a few days on the daily stats side of things, but maybe they got it updated already. People are still ending their HEX early right now. I mean, you can see it right here. Another payout is already at 8 HEX per T-share. Even on the PulseChain side, people have ended their HEX early, which is kind of comical. I don't know why you would end it over there early, but whatever. It's giving us almost an 8 payout per T-share over there. Whoops. Sorted by date. 310. Yeah, so yesterday's payout per T-share was 13.9. Congratulations to the people who staked. I'm staked, and I get to eat that up, man. And I'm telling you, like, what if you just stake it out 10 years? You're earning, what if the average ends up being like 10 HEX per day, 13 HEX per T-share? Like, these numbers get pretty darn silly, y'all. Pretty darn silly. And even at these prices, they get pretty darn silly the higher the payout per T-share goes, right? And so on average, it's usually around 6.8. We're starting getting it into the 7 HEX per T-share threshold. And yeah, the payout per T-share yesterday was the third highest payout per T-share. What if it does that again? And what if it does it again? And what if you get a few days of high payout per T-shares? And all you have to do is just wait. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do nothing. I will do nothing and be perfectly fine. The sissy girl traders need to stick with Solana. Yeah, trading's not the way, man. I'm telling you, trading's definitely not the way. Did we acquire new paper hands last week? I'm sure. Legacy ETH is thriving right now. ATX, I'm late, Gloria. You're all good. Markets don't care about your feelings. You better get rid of them in the crypto space. I'm saying this to myself, Cookie says. It's tough. It is tough, right? Thanks. I just wanted to take profits. That way later. Gotcha. Yeah, Malik, maybe I'll do it whenever the time comes in the future for like taking profits. So like in 10 months or 12 months or something like that, when we start getting toward higher levels and people have made hundreds of X's and that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe at that point in time I'll do a video on how to take profits using the liquid loans, but to make it now, I don't want to see anyone get wrecked and lose all their pulse. To use like same for the Earn protocol for Power City. They're out right now for PulseX. I don't want to see anybody lose all their PulseX. Like, you're about to enter a bull market, y'all. Like, now's not the time to lose your stack. If anything, you should be trying to accumulate and build that stack even bigger. So instead of needing 1,000x, you only need 300. And instead of needing 300, you only need 100x and shit. Maybe even instead of 100x, you only need a 50x, right? And then at that point in time, when you get your 50x and then you get 100x, it's just icing on top. And then you get a 300x. And then shit, what if you get 1,000x? You're like, woo! Right? Like, it's incredible. But if you're striving to like get that, then it almost means that your bag's not big enough. And that's cool if this is a first cycle. Understand, the first cycle is where you learn. Second cycle is where you earn. Third cycle is generational wealth. So if you've put the economic capital that you feel comfortable to put at risk, y'all, then at this point in time, maybe this cycle is not where you get to, you know, get all the riches and everything right away. But what if this cycle you turn 10,000 because you're buying later, whatever, into 200,000? And what if you can just take out, I don't know, we'll even say 30,000 of that? That could cover a lot of people's expenses for several months, right? You get to pay off high interest credit cards. You get to do that kind of stuff. Then you hold that bag into the next bear, wait until the next bull. And then you see it go from, you know, back to, we'll say back down to 20,000 on a bear market or bull market, whatever, on the next bear. Then you see it go back up on the next bull, and now you're sitting at like 2.2 million. Congrats. So it took you 8 years to get to the millions? Okay. Are you really that mad? I really hope not. And everyone wants to try to take the shortcut. While you can find the shortcut, most people will just absolutely crash. Optimality for sure. Savage. Yeah. The stake was after the fork. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I understand. Hey, again, like you wouldn't be penalized in that regard. Like, yeah, you'll lose some of the interest that you've accrued, but or you'll lose, you know, a portion of the principal, but at that point in time, it's almost like a wash, and you would have accrued interest. I just don't see that being the case, though. I would like to see it out to its full. The Truth Engine does what it does for a reason. It allows you to earn more, and so what if you just held it off until you got up to like 65%, 70%, and what if this bull market, We're back up another 10x from these prices right here from the Ethereum HEX side of things, y'all. Like, I know it boggles people's minds to even think that's the case, but what if PulseChain goes off and does 1000x, and PulseX goes off and does a 500x, and HEX on PulseChain goes off and does a 300x, and then your EHEX does a 10x? Like, that's comical for sure, but it still would net you more than what you would get now trying to get out of it whenever the freaking market's absolutely tanking it. Like, could it go lower? Sure, but I just don't see that being the case. Keep holding, see what happens. What else we got? Yeah, Digital Farmer says, thanks. All of us who just remain staked without touching them until they're finished will be the winners. That simple. We eat off all these emergency end stakes on both chains. Sure do. Finbear says, yep, 100%. The perpetuals are not for weak hands. Thanks to the perpetuals, I've more than tripled my T-shares. Thanks to the people paper handing them. It's not for everyone. HSIs is also not for weak hands. Well, again, there's a reason why you stake, right? There's a reason why I stake. Because I know myself, and I saw mad money last time. If it wasn't staked, I probably would have sold, and I probably would have done something stupid and degen into another thing. Like, it's just not for everyone. So I'm not a fan of perpetuals. I've said my 2 cents. Mark Velli says EHAM pump. Yeah, for sure. Optimality. Most can't have diamond hands, so I agree, but T-share arbitragers, it's a godsend. 100%. Guys are really upset. Dudes, come on. Validating is a job, but it's honest work. You can throw yield into the ink farm and compound. Mr. Max says, great stream. Staking 99% on both chains. Save me again. Ladder out, boys. 100%. David says, ATX, you and Westcott play basketball. Yep. Crypto Khalil, penalties even look nice today. Yeah, they do. LOL, $40 for a T-share on ETH. I'm completely staked on both chains. I had very little liquid EHEX. No worries. Beautiful to hear, Cookie. I think it's about $160. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's going to pretty much wrap up. I mean, we could look at some crypto news real fast just to kind of like finalize some stuff and just see if there's like any fun news out there. I feel like most news is all kind of trash in crypto world, but might as well take a little gander over here while we're streaming and talking about it. So in this world, we got weekly inflows to crypto funds amounted to a record $2.7 billion. Blockchain projects, MENA region depend on its fusion. Web3 surveillance proves we need on-chain data ownership. BTC Boom continues to smash prices, 72,000 threshold. D-Stream, lower XRP Cardano bulls with its 100x growth potential. Calexo, pre-sale, blah, blah, blah. Meme coin market fluctuates as traders eye the next big hit. Yeah, you're always looking like for the next big thing. What's the next thing? Where can I go make, $1 million in 3 days? Like, that's what you start doing. That's on that news site. What else we got? Donald Trump promises to support Bitcoin and crypto if elected president. There you go. For anyone who wants that to happen. Boom. MicroStrategy has 12,000 Bitcoin. Dude, that's like so silly for MicroStrategy to add Bitcoin now at these prices. It's so funny, man, but whatever. I don't really care. Can Cardano sustain its rally amid bearish signals? Ethereum path to all-time high hindered by a key metric. London Stock Exchange allows exchange-traded node applications for these two cryptos. U.S. authority recovered $1.4 million in USDT from crypto scammers. They got a whole bunch of crypto, y'all. The government, the U.S. authority, they're just fucking waiting to dump and just sell it. It's so stupid. Give it back to the people it's stolen from. Crypto Whale starts booking profit in Pepe. Shiba Inu price forecast will outperform Bitcoin. South Korea plans to build a robust crypto taxation system. Billionaire Bill Ackman reveals why he will buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin crossed its new all-time high for sure. Optimism, 2/3 of EVM smart contracts deployments are in 2024. And Optimism, Nirvana Cloud debuts. Wormhole, what else we got? How Euler Finance made a comeback after a $200 million exploit. Risk-taking platform. Polyvestor, testnet is live. Blast launch leaves users confused about withdrawals because you can't. Lol. Get wrecked. Freaking stupid, man. Clone launches mainnet and brings clone assets. DeFi points. Ethereum devs debate future about account abstraction. What else we got? Nothing else really crazy over here. Ethereum Foundation gives Dinkin upgrade and activation time on March 13th. There you go. So Ethereum's still working on getting their shit together. That Dinkin upgrade will not help gas fees, so it doesn't really matter too much. Institutional investors are farming liquid restaking tokens for yield. You can just do that with HEX. Airdrops arrive on Bitcoin with ordinal projects. Tron hits new all-time high and $2 million daily active daily fees. Metis integrates chain. Portal debuts. Robinhood partners with Arbitrum. We saw that last week, actually, as a matter of fact. Yeah, that was on March 1st. So I was like, all right, that's old news. Shiba Inu, Shibarium achieves major milestone. XRP nets 1.5 million flows in funds. What else we got? All right, well, folks, that's going to wrap up the stream. I hope all y'all had a wonderful afternoon. So much love to every single one, and I will catch you in tomorrow's video on the Market Pulse in the morning. Peace.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecure